Alright, this is a video response from VERITAS48. It's your video called 5 Questions for Atheists. Number 1, your question was, why is there something rather than nothing? Actually there's no real answer for that. I don't think there's any good answer out there in religion or in anything else that I've found. I hope you find it. Anyone finds it. Number 2, is there any evidence in theism or religion? Anything persuasive? I'm going to say no with a little asterisk. There's some persuasivity in indoctrination when you indoctrinate children. They're very easily persuaded by things like being told that there's an afterlife or that there's a hell. I think it's kind of a bad thing to tell children that they're going to suffer for eternity. I think it's very scary to them. So I think that's probably the most persuasive part of it, but that's indoctrination. I'm not sure if that counts as religion, but it's definitely a part of religion. So obviously that's a debatable point, which is probably pretty controversial. But I think that's the only persuasive part of it. That's, you might be able to think of as something persuasive, I guess. But it's not definitely not evidence. Because I don't think there's any evidence in theism or religion, or in any other polytheism or anything like that. Number 3, how is atheism reconciled with ultimate meaning? There is no reconciliation, because I really don't think there's an ultimate meaning. I'm going to quote Carl Sagan when he calls it Earth a pale blue dot. I mean, it kind of sums it up how I feel. We're one planet in a giant galaxy, in a giant universe. There's no ultimate cosmic significance, or even the galactical significance. Sure, I mean, it's cool that we're alive and all, but I don't think there's any ultimate meaning. And then you kind of further that into how you deal with the meaninglessness in your life. I think it kind of makes it more meaningful to have a finite existence like an atheist than an infinite existence like a theist or a polytheist. I mean, when you realize that there's only 60 or so years left in your life, it makes you kind of, I think, in general, people would want to live it up more. Not necessarily going out and drinking, but making some of their life. It's so finite and it's running out. I mean, if you had infinite Spam in your kitchen, you'd get tired of Spam. But if you have a limited amount, you might like some nice Spam tacos or something delicious Spam. I hate Spam. But I think the metaphor is pretty good. So, how do I deal with it? I think the only way you can deal with it is just get over it. Accept it as part of reality, and that even though it's something that's contrary to a religious idea, it's not sad by itself. If you raise everyone thinking, knowing that they're going to die, they would accept it as part of existence. They wouldn't just get boo-hoo when you talk to them about it. It's only a sad thing that's bad or negative if you compare it to religion. I think it's kind of religion's problem, is they don't deal with it. So I think it's pretty well answered. Number 4, does the religious environment you were raised in affect your atheism? How so? I was raised Roman Catholic, and as you said, some Roman Catholics get way into it. When they become atheists, they become almost a fundamentalist atheist, as a lot of people are calling them. Same thing with evangelicals, Mormons, maybe some of them are devout Protestants. I think anyone who's really devout and goes every Sunday or every day of the week or thinks about it on like more than a monthly basis is probably pretty religious. And I guess in some sense that makes me an evangelical atheist. I do think that religion and the problems it causes the world every day. So I guess in that sense I'm probably a new atheist / evangelical atheist. But I don't think an environment affected that. I think that's something that just came about because I'm just disgusted with the world. There are a lot of problems, and there's a lot of people who ignore the problems, who are religious, ironically. Number 5, what is the end-all goal of atheism and activism on YouTube? And that moves into drawbacks of living in a religious life in a godless world. I think the goal is just getting out there, reminding people that atheism is something big. It's not something little or a craziest movement or radicalist or anything like that. And the second thing that's sort of chained into that is it's kind of like back against the flood of religious activism on YouTube. I as someone said that, I can't remember whose video it was, but they said that they have a religious video. Who's going to watch it over an atheist video? Because there's a supply and demand effect here. There's so many religious videos out there. There's so many religious people putting their opinions. Their opinions, I think, sort of happen to overlap quite a lot. So there's no reason, I guess, if you have a limited time, which we all do, to watch YouTube videos, there's no reason to watch all their videos. And contrast, you can watch the atheist video, which is probably less overlapping. And so I guess the point is just getting out there and sort of letting people know that there's something else besides religion, be it polytheism or monotheism. And then, what's the drawback of living a religious life in a godless world? This wasn't a sixth question, but it kind of feels like it. But anyway, I think it's just a waste of life. I mean, I guess like you kind of pose it like, if you live a religious life and you die, what is the drawback of that? You phrase it like that, there seems to be no drawback, but it's an obvious drawback. I mean, how can you really live that way if you don't believe in your religion? I mean, maybe for some people it makes a lot of sense, but for me it doesn't. Especially when you hold it up to things like science and reason, and just, I guess, the improbability of a deity. That's the biggest thing for me. That just seems ridiculous. And once you destroy the idea of the God, a lot of the things that go along with it sort of fall down in a domino fashion. And kind of tied into that is Pascal's wager, that how can you fake something like that? You just can't. And when you die, if you're a religious person, nothing happens. If you're an atheist, you go to hell. But if you're a real atheist, you can't fake these kind of things. And I think a God who's omniscient and all-powerful could easily see through that as well. And this argument's been played out millions of times, I'm sure. Now let me respond to the next 5 in the next video. Thanks.